What's going on, everybody? This is Josh McCarty and Stokes from Built in Buffalo. And on today's video, we are going to talk about Leslie Frazier, the Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator, and whether we think the Bills should be in the market for a new defensive coordinator after their disappointing ending to the season with the 27-10 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. Stokes, Frazier has been the coordinator for 6 years here. He came in with McDermott in 2017. Regular season wise, largely positive results, including the last 4 seasons, top 6 in the entire league in yards, but 3 seasons in a row ending with a lot of fingers pointed at the Bills defense.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those glaring things where you just know that the problem with this team, you could point some at the offense, but majority of the time when our seasons are ending, it's a lot on the defense's end. And it's one of those things where a guy can be a great coordinator still, and still there could be a reason for change.
I just wonder if the message has gotten stale, Stokes. You look at the last 3 playoff exits: 42 points in the AFC Championship game given up to the Chiefs, 38 the next year in the divisional round, including 2 leads given up after the 2-minute warning, and then obviously the first drive of the overtime that went for a touchdown that ended the game. And then this past weekend, the Bengals, down 3 offensive linemen, did whatever they wanted to against this Bills defense.
Yeah, I think the defense itself lacks aggression. I think the overall point of his system is that we're gonna bet that you're not gonna go 75 yards each drive, and we'll let you get 5, 6, 7 yards at a time if you really want it. But what happens when you meet the teams like, okay, we'll just take those 5, 6, 7 yards at a time, betting that you're gonna fail 3 plays in a row before you get 75 yards. And that's a great bet in the regular season. But in the postseason, when you got these teams that are like, okay, if you're going to give this to us, we're going to take it. That's where things go awry and go off the rails.
And in general, the league is set up for offenses to have success if all things are equal. We know the rules slant toward the offenses. To your point, you look across the sideline. Lou Anarumo from the Cincinnati Bengals had a second-round rookie cornerback and Eli Apple, who we all know is kind of a meme in this league, and he held the Bills to 10 points because he threw everything but the kitchen sink at the offense. Where on the other side of the field, Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott, it's very much a we're going to make you execute against what we do well on defense. And when you look at this Bills defense moving forward, Stokes, they have had a lot of benefits with guys like Tre'Davious White, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, and even Ed Oliver, if you want, for the majority of Frazier's tenure being on their rookie contracts. And now a lot of those guys have gotten or are going to get more expensive, compounded with the franchise quarterback and Josh Allen taking up a huge chunk of the salary cap. The Bills are not going to have the luxury of having 11 very high quality players out on the defense at all times. And it might take some scheme diversity for this defense to be successful.
Yeah, I think that that's very true. We've been benefiting a lot because of the things that you mentioned, and when we're gonna move forward, we have to try and figure out whether Matt Milano, if he's is he gonna want another contract, and then what we're doing with the rest of the defense, and we just. I feel as if we need a defense that's going to take chances because when you have an offense that's going to score half the time they touch the ball, just take chances, try to get an extra possession here and there. And I think that especially when it comes to the postseason, when you know you're going to be facing these quarterbacks and these offenses and these coaches that are willing to just take what you're going to give them and just maul you for an entire game.
Well, Stokes, it sounds like we both think it's in the Bills' best interest to at least explore the idea of a new defensive coordinator. Now, the $1 million question is, do we think it'll happen? In my opinion, I think it's truly 50-50. I do think that the Bills are going to look at everything. The way the season ended in such a disappointing fashion, I think they are going to try to shake something up. I don't know if that means Leslie Frazier will go. One interesting name that's out there is Steve Wilks. He was the interim head coach for the Carolina Panthers this past season. On Thursday, he did not get the Carolina Panthers head coaching job. He has a long history with Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane. If that's somebody that they could bring into their building, I could see that.
I think that the front office, they'll be okay with him staying, but I also think they'll be like, yo, Les, if you got interviews for head coaching jobs, you go ahead and, if it's your time to shine, you can go ahead if you want to. And then that would be their way of explaining it. So like, hey, Les had an opportunity to go somewhere else. So this is just was best for the team. But I don't think that, like, in the past, they may have been like, hey, Les, we need you to stay on. We'll pay you more or whatever the case is. But I think that this is a position or a situation where they'd be more likely to be, okay, Les, it's your opportunity now. So I think that the only way he would leave is if he's going to go for a head coaching job.
I could see that. I could see that for sure. It does seem like, in a sense, with Sean McDermott having that defensive background, that would almost be a scapegoat thing, since the thought is Leslie Frazier is running his defense. Time will tell. Let us know in the comments what you think the Buffalo Bills should do with Leslie Frazier and their defensive coordinator position. And for Stokes, this is Josh. We will see you next time on Built in Buffalo Quick Hits.